Some people are bestowed the power to predict the future. We got Nikola Tesla, Baba Vanga, Family Guy, The Simpsons. But everyone seems to have forgotten the world's greatest predictor. His name? Video Game AF. So on April 19, 2008, he posted a video on his channel titled Future Gen Consoles Wii 2, PS4, Xbox 720. Let's see if he has predicted the future of video gaming. Starting off strong with the song I Can Only Count to 4, a must-have song in YouTube videos of this era. Sadly, the iPhone 2 doesn't exist. Apple can't count to 2, so they went straight to the iPhone 3G. Now what we do see in the picture is an iPod Classic with a sliding mechanism. Currently there are no iPhones that have a sliding mechanism, but there are rumors that Apple might make a phone called the iPhone Slide Pro. Check this out. Ooh, wow. This seems to be a potential competitor to the Samsung Galaxy Fold lineup, but I digress. So, did Video Game AF predict the future? I would say pending. But the iPhone 2 doesn't exist. Which is true, but the sliding feature could be a reality sometime soon. The iBox. A simple, sleek design, certainly ahead of its time. Now, Apple has a dark past with video game consoles, so sadly, I'll cut things short and say Video Game AF did not predict the future with this one. It has come to my attention that Apple did sort of dabble with video game consoles recently with the Apple TV. If you have an Apple Arcade subscription, which I'm confident no one has, then you can play some games on it. Check this out. They have my favorite video game, My Little Pony Main Merge. Ah, yes. The new iPod. It looks like the iPod Classic and iPod Nano combined. I do like how it's playing Finding Nemo. Imagine watching movies on that. The closest Apple product that resembles this would be the iPod Nano 6th Gen, which came out 2 years after Video Game AF's prediction. Since we never got a slide-up iPod, sadly Video Game AF did not predict the future with this one. Just looking at it, it's a really cool design, but sadly it's very outdated. It reminds me of those brick phones, but I mean, you can play Nintendo games on it. Cool idea, but Video Game AF did not predict the future with this one. Since this version of the Nintendo DS is ambiguous, I would say he tried to predict a new rendition of the Nintendo DS, which would be the DSi. I find it really interesting how consoles are designed to slide open. I guess back in 2008, sliding devices were really popular. That being said, I'm sorry to inform you, but Video Game AF did not predict the future with this one. Although, he did predict a new product from the DS line, which props for him. From what it looks like, it seems to be a VR headset by Nintendo called the Nintendo's On. Now, Nintendo has made a VR headset called the Virtual Boy, which failed really hard, although it was certainly ahead of its time. That isn't to say Nintendo is done with VR. The Nintendo Switch, you can buy the Nintendo Labo VR kit, which means that Nintendo has launched a form of VR that sure doesn't look like the Nintendo On, but it is a VR headset. It's safe to say Nintendo will release more VR related stuff, maybe even a Nintendo VR headset, which I could see being a huge success. I mean, Nintendo's entire gimmick is motion tracking, so I would say Video Game AF predicted the future with this one. Let's move on to the next. I do like how on the Nintendo Labo website, the handheld mode is grayed out from supported play modes when the kids are holding the Nintendo Switch in their hands. Now this one's a huge prediction. I'm very impressed. This literally looks like the Nintendo Switch. Obviously this one looks really dumb, but the form factor and the idea you can take off the sides are basically that of a Joy-Con. I would like to understand the thought process behind this design though. Like, one side has 3 buttons, the other side has a D-pad, which has 4 buttons. So you basically have to give other people the 3-button side. It's like going to a friend's house and they use a good controller, and you're left with the off-brand controller. That's crusty and the analog stick doesn't work. But yeah, anyways. Video Game AF predicted the future hard with this one. Probably the most memorable one here. I'm very impressed. The GameCube Portable is quite an interesting prediction. I do like the concept of inserting the GameCube discs inside the system, even though it's very impractical for a portable device. But I do like the idea. The question is, does the GameCube Portable exist? Actually, surprisingly, yeah. A YouTuber by the name of Ginger of Oz created what you see right here in real life. He made a video about the entire process of creating the GameCube Portable, which is very interesting. The YouTube link for the video will be down below. That out of the way, Video Game AF predicted the future with this one. No doubt about it. Yeah. Sadly, there is no such thing as a Sphere Xbox console, although it would be really cool since the Xbox logo does give off such an appearance. I do like how the disc being inserted is an original Xbox disc, but who knows? Maybe Video Game AF tried predicting backwards compatibility. That being said, Video Game AF did not predict the future here. Alright, the controller for the Xbox 720. The design looks surprisingly ergonomic and comfortable. A problem with controllers I find is how slim they are, which causes hand cramps. But this one looks pretty big. But yeah, no. Video Game AF did not predict the future with this controller. It's a pretty awful design. Okay, now this is a really weird design. The device is super angular and straight up uncomfortable. I like how the buttons are recessed. The Xbox 360 Portable seems to have been attempted, although this one in particular doesn't exist. But not much to say here other than horrible design. Let's get out of here and check out the better company at making video game consoles. Alright, so here Video Game AF showcases 4 different PS4 consoles. I don't know why he does this. Maybe he predicted alternate timelines where the PS4 exists, so I'm going to save you guys the time and watch all 4 of them at the same time. Yeah, the PS4. It exists. I would say the PS4 in our world looks very different than the ones presented here. But it could be that Video Game AF predicted 4 different futures and forgot this future PS4. Who knows? That being said, the PS4, again, with a slightly curved design, does kind of resemble the PS5. So, Video Game AF could have in fact predicted the PS5, which I wouldn't be surprised. With all that said, I would say Video Game AF did predict the future. Very nice. Okay, here we see the funny PS4 controller. And yeah, the controller is so funny I forgot to laugh. But I have to say, this does remind me of SCUF controllers, with the extra buttons and tons of paddles behind the controller. It's possible Video Game AF predicted SCUF controllers. I do wonder what kind of games could support this contraption. Who knows? Video Game AF did not predict the future with this controller, but whatever. Let's go into the final prediction. Let's go. The final prediction. By Video Game AF, the PSP 2. So, did we get a PS2? I mean, yeah, we got the PSP Go, the PSP Street, and most importantly, the PSP Vista. We didn't get the PSP 2's shape, but we did get 2 analog sticks as seen on the PSP Vista. I also find it funny how throughout the video, we saw slide-up consoles being a popular trend, and the one time a sequel for a console comes out with the sliding capability, the PSP Go, we didn't see that prediction. With all that said, Video Game AF predicted the future with this one. In conclusion, I would say Video Game AF made some amazing discoveries and predictions of the future for video game consoles. Sure, they weren't 100% accurate, but they were very close, and technically no console showcased has or was discontinued after its launch. So you could argue he accurately predicted the future for these video game consoles, albeit with a few design differences, which is to be expected. He's only human, after all.